I got a job doing commercial art at the Hinkle's department store out there in Wichita, Kansas. And then I started watching all the movies that were shot in New York. And I'd sit there and I'd look at it, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go there.
When did you?
1950.
A lot of amazing people came to New York in 1950. Andy Warhol came in 1950, Jack Smith came in 1950. Tell us about it.
Well, they say that, 50s New York was so different than now. I loved it then, I love it now. New York represents freedom, and that's what it represented to me all along. The first year I was here, I moved so much I lost track, but I was in the West 20s, over by the park in the 70s, West End Avenue. I was down in the Village. I finally got into my art studio over on West 29th Street. And I had that for 13 years. And then I got married. I was 35, and my husband came home one night and he said he was going to take up golf, and I said, great, I'm taking up sex. And it was a joke, and we both laughed, and a month later we were divorced, and he was playing golf and I was having sex. When I first got divorced, I was still pretty traditional. I thought, I'd fall in love and get married, and this time I'd marry somebody who had money and who was good at sex. Both. I wanted both. And but then that was at the beginning of our sexual revolution. And I thought, this is not a time to get married. This is a time to go out there and live. And of course I thought it was going to last forever, but my boyfriend and I did threesomes and group sex, and we just opened up our relationship we talked about it all the time, inclusive, not exclusive. And it was a wonderful time to do it, and I learned so much, and that's really my PhD in sexology. Mm-hmm. The 10 years I spent having sex with multiple partners at parties, And the thing that frightens women when they hear that is that they visualize getting fucked over and over again. But it wasn't that way. I was in control. I was in control of my body. I determined what happened. I knew the things that I liked. I knew the things I didn't like. For some reason, it's hard for us to conceive that a woman can be sexual and have sex and determine what happens. It's like if we have sex with somebody, we're going to get fucked over. It's always negative. It's never positive. And for me, it was always positive.
When did you get involved with the feminist movement?
When I did my first exhibition, in '68, because I'd drawn pictures of sex, people thought I was an expert. People came up to me, they asked me questions. They didn't know anything. And I kept saying, I'm not an expert, I'm an artist, Then I thought, stop making excuses. Whatever information you have, share with these people. And then we were talking about consciousness raising, which was first person sharing. So it just segued into, we'll sit and talk about sex. I mean, I'd already read Betty Friedan, and I loved her. I still do. That was the book that really I went, whoa. Oh, the feminine mystique. Of course, it turned out to be, sex roles and other things, and you had to develop her theme. And she didn't deal much with sexuality, but I did. And to me, it was the most meaningful thing that ever happened to me. It was the most wonderful thing and also the most horrible thing.
How?
Because it was such a disappointment. I really thought we were going to get it together and we were going to change the world.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I go barrel-assing into feminism, with my ideas of liberating masturbation. And the women say, I don't want to masturbate. I want to fall in love and live with the man of my dreams and live happily ever after. They wanted the romantic dream.